Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Gabriella and I am a crocheting fiber artist, and I'm so excited you're here today. Today is a little video to kind of get to know me because this is a newer channel. I have a lot of new followers and I just want you guys to feel like you know who I am, and hopefully I'll get to know you guys in the comments as well. And while we're chatting, I will be crocheting. This is the perfect time for you to just sit back, relax, grab your crochet or knitting project and listen along and join me. So I'm working on my balaclava and I'm just finishing up some slip stitch ribbing, so we'll be working on that while we're chatting. Thanks for joining, and here's the video. Just as a disclaimer, I don't know if you can hear my dishwasher running in the background, but if you can, that's what it is, and I'm so sorry, but nothing I can do at this point, right? I already started it. As I said, my name is Gabriella. I'm currently 23 years old, and I've been crocheting for, I'm gonna say 14 years. Coming up on 15, because I started when I was about 9 is my best estimation, at least. Hopefully that's right. And yeah, there's definitely been some lulls in my commitment and activeness to crocheting, but I started at 9 and I would say I've become more rededicated to it probably in 2019, and so that would be about 6 years. Wow. Yeah. So question number 1. How did I first start crocheting? Actually, I first started with knitting.
So my dad has a friend who also knits, and he has a business with creating knitwear and wool wear with alpaca fibers. So he loves to knit, and because of that, my dad had done a tiny bit of knitting when he was younger, and I was very inspired by a couple of my dad's scarves that he had knit. And so I went to the library and I got myself a how to knit book, sat down with this how to knit book and a random pair of knitting needles that we happened to have with my random skein of Red Heart yarn that was in our craft bin, and I said, I'm gonna do this. So I did. My first project was, you could call it a pot holder, but it was more like me learning how to knit. And look at that, it's a rectangle. Here you go, Mom. So I did that and really liked it, which, disclaimer, I don't really knit and I don't really like it, so I'm not sure when that happened, but I wanted to continue doing this, so we had a little bit more yarn on hand. I can't really remember if we bought some or not. But my second project that I knit was I was working with that really kind of fuzzy Chanel kind of yarn. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'll add a picture if I can remember to. And I was working on a scarf. I probably got about this far along before I quit. But hey, who doesn't start and stop knitting a scarf? I feel like that's a rite of passage. So if you can relate to that, comment below, because I'm pretty sure you can.
Anywho, so I was working on learning to knit, and I was telling some of my friends about this, and one of my friends said, you know what, I've tried that, and I've also tried this thing called crocheting, and it's better. You should try it. So I said, all right, let's give it a go. So she tried to teach me some basics, and then I went back home and got another library book and kept learning. And actually, my first project that I remember at least was this headband. I used this brown acrylic yarn and made myself a little double crochet headband. I actually gave it to my mother, who very kindly wore it. It was atrocious with so many increases accidentally. But hey, you gotta start somewhere, right? And after that, my friend who crocheted, we made some finger puppets. I don't know why that was our next project, but we made some finger puppets, which was a lot of fun, and I feel like it taught me a lot because I was working with such small pieces. Another disclaimer, I don't like amigurumi, so it's been a process. Anyway, all that to say, over the next couple of years, I did crochet a little red kind of button scarf that used the puff stitch. I crocheted several different like small purses that I had a lot of fun with those. I crocheted some pot holders and a lot of just granny squares in the goal of eventually making a blanket, which I still haven't done. And that was probably most of what I did till about 2018, 2019. So in 2019, I would call my crochet resurgence, and when I really got into it, I was a freshman and I was looking for some type of hobby to do while in college in some of my free time. I don't know how I had free time, but I did. And I decided, you know what, I really like that crochet thing. I think I'm gonna do it some more. So I went to Joann's and I picked out some yarn and I said, I'm gonna make a blanket. And I did, folks. It took me probably 9 months, but I did. And I'm gonna show it to you right now. You can see the basic premise of it here. It's a striped pattern, but it's actually twice this length. It's folded in half right now. I think I'm using some sort of like extended moss stitch or something, but it's not like the moss stitch where it's single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain. It's not that one. So it's something else, but I don't remember. But I made up the pattern myself, It's one stitch over and over. You can see my gauge changes a lot throughout, but hopefully you can see that okay. It was such a fun project to work on, like during my freshman year and throughout college. And I'm really thankful because I feel like it helped me get back into crocheting, which was really special. So that's the blanket. I have finished the blanket, so it took forever, but it's okay. But I worked on that, and as I was enjoying that, I decided, you know what else? I think I'll make some pot holders. So I started making pot holders as Christmas gifts for individuals in my family, and that was a lot of fun. And it kind of just has continued to snowball from there. In 2021, my roommate, different roommate from my freshman year, she also crocheted, and that kind of also sparked more inspiration for me. So we made mittens together. I started working on a sweater that I haven't finished. I made scrubbies for the kitchen, just like random stuff like that. And then in the summer of 2022 was when I would say I dove in deep. And that's when I made my first crochet garment, like truly. I had started a crochet page because I was having so much fun with it. I made a granny square vest following a pattern by Hey Hey Crochet. I also made her Maggie tie top, so she has some really great crochet tutorials, especially for beginners and like beginner clothes. If you want to check her out, it's all free, which is really cool. And then I applied as a tester for a crochet pattern because now I'm following all these people on Instagram, right? And I did not expect to get chosen, but I did, and I was so excited. And that was by the Old Attic Project. Love her pattern, so cute. Oh my gosh, it turned out so cute. I love it. And that was a lot of fun. And so now that I had started making clothes, I was like, okay, I found what I love, because previously, I don't know, I always enjoyed what I was working on, but I didn't have as much like inspiration and didn't feel like as satisfied with the projects, if that makes sense. And so ever since then, I've been working on my crochet Instagram slowly but surely for the last 3 years now, I guess. And I did another pattern test for, I'm gonna say it wrong, but Kuruku Crochet? Hukuru Crochet. Love, love, love her patterns. They're so beautiful. She does such a wonderful job. So I also definitely recommend her. And yeah, so I've been crocheting a lot of clothes since then. I've been really enjoying clothes. I've been making baby blankets for my nieces and nephews. I've been making, I don't even know what else, but lots of fun stuff. And now I'm working on developing my own patterns. So be sure to follow along if you're interested in seeing me work on developing my own patterns. So yeah, that is how I got into crocheting and also how I started this crochet page. Question number 2, how did you start your crochet page? Is what I just answered. As you can see, I'm not making very much progress on this, but I hope that you're making progress on your project as you are watching along. So next question, just to tell you a little bit about myself. Once again, my name is Gabriella. I'm 23. I am married as of a 1.5 years ago, and I live in the US. I've lived in several different states. Right now I'm in the South and enjoying my time here and kind of getting to know what this area is like, because I've lived in the North and the Southwest, and I'm in the Southeast. So it's been a lot of fun, but it's been really cool. I feel like the crochet community is really worldwide, which is so neat because I have so many creators that I follow that live in Europe and in Asia and in Australia, and I've never really followed or seen the day-to-day lives of people in other countries. So it's been really cool to get to see that. I really enjoy that, and that's been really special about this community that I love. My day job is as an American Sign Language interpreter, which has been a huge blessing. I love that job. I did go to college and get a BA in sign language interpreting. So that's what I'm doing now. I've been doing that for about 2 years and I'm really enjoying it. It's been such an amazing job. It's just a beautiful language, beautiful culture, and I love getting to be an interpreter. It's a really, really cool job. I'm loving that. That's my day job. Right now, I'm a freelance agent. So I work and contract with several different agencies and do jobs for them throughout the week. So I'm getting more like upwards of part-time hours, and that's why I'm hoping with the rest of my time to work on growing my crochet business / social media presence. So I'm hoping to kind of make this my side job, side hustle, as well as I'm starting to design my own patterns. This is one of my first patterns that I'm working on currently, and I'm really excited about that too. So other than crocheting in my free time, some things that I really like to do include reading. I am a big audiobook person because I can then multitask, read, and crochet, which is kind of huge, I feel like, but I'm trying to read more physical books because there's something special about that as well. I also enjoy writing. I like to write poetry and do some journaling. I haven't been doing as much of that recently, but it's still something that's really special to me. A little bit more about myself. I am an introvert. I get tired out in social settings very quickly, but I do really love one-on-one relationships especially, and I have a lot of fun at events. But in my heart, I'm a homebody, so I think that a lot of you can probably relate to that. Maybe not, but I wouldn't think it's uncommon for a crafter. So now a couple of questions. First off, what is my favorite item that I've made so far? I think for this, it would be my Ada top. The pattern is by Crochet. I did a pattern test for her for the Ada top, and it's so beautiful, you guys. It's just, I loved working on it, and the result was gorgeous, so comfy, and it's fun because, you know, you can use, like, I don't know, I feel like you could wear it in the winter and summer because it's a vest. Sadly, I don't have this piece anymore. It's kind of a long story, but it actually got stolen, which is really sad. So eventually I would like to make another one because it is so beautiful, but it did take a long time and I just haven't felt able to commit to it yet, and I've kind of wanted to make new things. So, but that's probably my favorite thing I've ever made. What's my least favorite item I've ever made? Probably some of the things I made back when I didn't know what I was doing and they turned out terrible. I still have this, like I would mention it earlier, like red scarf type of thing, but it just wraps around once and it like buttons in the front. It's like this giant pink button and it's really ugly, but I just don't have the heart to get rid of it because it was one of the first things I made and I was so proud of it, but I don't like it at all. So probably that. What are the items that you like to crochet? So I like to crochet mainly clothing and other like kind of household useful type items. So I really like clothes, so sweaters, tanks, vests, cardigans, whatever, and then things like hats, scarves, mittens, as well as hot pads, scrubbies. I think it would be interesting to crochet a hand towel, washcloth, maybe a rug. That type of stuff is what I'm really interested in. Yeah, slippers maybe at some point, socks, those types of things are what I really enjoy making because I really like finishing the project and then being able to use it or wear it, and it feels like all that time I spent, I'm now reaping the reward of and getting to, it's like worth my money, aka my time, because I'm using it that much more times over, if that makes sense. So I really like that, as well as I do like bigger projects typically, because when it's too small and confined and there's too many pieces, I just am more frustrated than having fun. And that's not the goal of crocheting, right? The goal is to have fun. So for me, that's what I love. What do you not like to crochet? I do not like to crochet amigurumi. I do not like it at all, actually. The result, fantastic. It's amazing. I have done a few. I have one that's really cute. Let me show you. I have this little guy that I crocheted. I'll have to tag the original creator because this is not my original design. Basically, I found a free dinosaur pattern by the creator and she had made a whole bunch of variations, one of which was like this, where it was like the kiwi inspired dinosaur, and my husband loves kiwis, and so I just had to make one. It's just too cute. So I followed her dinosaur free tutorial and then added the kiwi elements myself based on kind of what she had done. And I love the result. I do think I made it a little too stiff. I think there's a lot that I learned during this project where another amigurumi I could do better on. I did make one little one for my nephew at one point, and that one I also learned a lot, so I think I could do better with a third one, but I just don't like it. There's too many small pieces. It's so like meticulous and tiny and hard to count with this yarn, and then you have to sew a lot of it on. It's just not my thing. The result is adorable, but then it just sits there and I look at it and I'm like, wow, that's so cute. Now what? What do I do with it? Maybe if I had kids, maybe when I have kids, I'll be really into it and I'll love it because then I can see them playing with the animals and that'll be so rewarding. But right now, as cute as it may be, it's not my thing. So I don't like making amigurumi. That's what I don't like, despite the cute result. What is my favorite yarn? So I have been delving into the yarn world a lot more the last, I would say, year and a half or so, and trying a lot of new yarns, learning more about fibers and what they do, how they work, what's best for this versus that, if you're looking for stretch, if you're looking for warmth, if you're looking for coolness. I find it super interesting, and I'm coming to love wool blends. Like 100% wool is great. I don't have a lot of it and I haven't used a lot of it because it can be more expensive, but I've used several wool blend yarns. Maybe it's wool with acrylic or wool with something else, and I just love the result. Like, I love working with wool because it's so soft. Typically, there are some that are not. I don't like those as much. It just feels more authentic, and I feel like I'm making something warmer, cozier. I do also like working, actually no, I don't like working with bamboo yarn, but I really like the result because it's so soft. But I would say my favorite is wool. So, but the soft kind of wool, not the scratchy wool. What is my least favorite yarn? I'm sorry, but acrylic. Specifically, just the skeins and skeins of all the colors. It's amazing that those are out there. I think they're perfect for so many projects. I do use them, but I do not like working with them because, again, I like making clothes and like household stuff, and that's not what I want for those pieces because it's breathable and scratchy most of the time. It's not too bad. Not breathable. Sorry. I don't like working with it. I just feel like it doesn't glide on my hook the same way. I don't like the feel of it on my fingers. Just no. Just no. But I will use it from time to time for some projects. It's not my favorite though. I would say that. What crochet item have you used the most or found the most wear out of, etc., etc.? My answer for this one might surprise some of you guys, and some of you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me show you. It's this baddie right here. My crocheted water bottle holder. It has a hand strap and a shoulder strap, and it is literally, I use this every day since I made this 3 years ago. I don't know what I would do without it, to be honest. I don't know how people survive, first of all, without bringing a water bottle everywhere they go. Second of all, with having to hold it by the handle or put it in your purse. Like, no. But I'm telling you one thing, if there is one thing that you should make, no matter if you like making clothes, amigurumi, doesn't matter, it's this right here. Because you better have a water bottle that you use and take with you, and if you don't, like, how are you not hydrating regularly? Because it's super important. This is the best thing in the world. I use this every day for work. Maybe it's not professional, but I don't care. Literally a lifesaver. I think I mentioned that I'm American Sign Language interpreter, which means I need my hands, okay? In order to sign, I need my hands, and they need to be free. And there's lots of times when we're walking and I'm interpreting, and if I have to be holding a water bottle with one hand, I can only sign with one other hand, and that's no. Or every time we go into a new room, I have to find a new place to set it. It's just not worth it. So much nicer to just have it on my shoulder, not have to worry about it, and still get to have my water with me whenever I want. And I cannot tell you how many people have complimented me on this. I get at least 2 compliments a week. 2 compliments a week at least, from some nurse, doctor, office staff, it doesn't matter, the client themselves saying, wow, did you make that yourself? Oh my gosh, I love that. Do you sell those? Wow, did you make that? That's so smart. That's so cool. I need one. I love that. So if you can make one thing for yourself, it is this. It's not that hard. It's a circle. Circle? This is the mesh stitch. This tulip stitch detail was another creator's idea that I also did something similar because I thought it was really cute. And then handle and strap. It's not that hard at all. Please make one for yourself. It's so worth it. I use it all the time. I would eventually like to make another one because this one is so stretched out. It's ridiculous. And I also got a new water bottle that is no longer teal. It's actually orange. So this doesn't match as well anymore. So if you're interested in a tutorial or a pattern or anything, let me know below because I'm thinking about it. It's on my list. Anyway, this is by far the most used project I have ever made. So there you go. Why do I love crochet? So for me, kind of a long story, but at the end of the day, the short version is I've always been a really creative person. Like I mentioned, I like to journal. I like to write poetry. I've also spent a lot of time painting and doing other craft things like that. And so I think that the creative side of me has always been looking for something to dive into, and it's never, until I've really spent time now learning to crochet, I feel like it hadn't found quite what it was looking for. And now it has. I just feel like being able to create something that not only is either a written work or something to hang on a wall, but something that I actually can physically wear is really, really amazing. And also there's something special about watching it literally like come to life and evolve under my fingertips, like starting from basically nothing and then all of a sudden it has texture, it has movement, it has color. Is so special. So that's why I love crocheting, as well as I'm a very fidgety person. I have a lot of little fidgety habits like biting my nails and tapping my leg, and I can't sit still very long. So crocheting has really filled that need for me when I'm sitting for extended amounts of time or I'm wanting to truly relax and I feel like I otherwise couldn't. It's something for me to put my focus on so that I can really focus more on what's actually going on around me even. So I like to crochet during movies, during conversations, at church, in the car, all those types of things. I really find a lot of peace crocheting, which has been really special. And when I don't have it with me and I just have to sit there and try to be still, I don't know how people do it. I really don't know how people do it. So that's also been a huge one for me. One other thing that I love about crocheting is it helps me to like slow down in such a busy world. I feel like going back to creating your own clothing, creating your own hats, gloves, kitchen items, what be you, from scratch is something it's very kind of nostalgic of the past and a slower way of living and a slower way of creating, a slower way of fashion that I think is really beautiful. And so getting to be part of that is really cool. And with that, I have finished my ribbing. I hope you've made progress in your project as well. I just have to seam this together now. And stay tuned for the lovely balaclava pattern that will hopefully be coming out shortly. Also, if you're wondering where this pattern is from, this is by Made in the Moment. They have a written pattern or a YouTube tutorial that is free. I've made this pattern twice now and it's so fun. I love this version of it, but you can also kind of switch it up with stitches, but they give a really good example of like how to work the raglan style down and make these really fun sleeves. So be sure to check out their patterns if you're interested. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching my video. It means so much that you are here and supporting me as I'm starting this small business. If you want to go ahead and subscribe or follow me on any of my social medias, please do. I would love to hear from you in the comments below or in my DMs or comments on Instagram or other platforms. Feel free to check out my patterns on Ravelry, Etsy, or Ko-Fi. They are all listed there. Be sure to come back. I can't wait to see you again. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.